This build started with one idea. What if the GPU didn't have to sit where it always does? What followed was an all-AMD, fully water-cooled system built inside the DarkFlash DY460, and a layout that changed everything. This is the DarkFlash DY460 case, and because of how tall it is, I've got something special planned for this system. Inside we can fit up to 10 fans, 3 across the top here, 3 up the top, 3 down the side, 1 at the rear. Comes with 4 pre-installed fans, and it is a panoramic design with the glass at the front. And what I plan on doing is water cooling in this case for the CPU. So we'll install a 360mm radiator up the top. It does have a pre-installed dust filter. You can fit back connect motherboards, and I'm liking how far an ATX board will go in here because I have something special planned for the 24 pin as well. Then at the front of the case, we have USB Type-C, a USB Type-A, headphone jack, reset, and power button. Plus, we can also do standard horizontal or vertical mounting. But wait until you guys see what I've got planned. Our motherboard today is the X870E Carbon Wi-Fi, and we plan on building a top-end gaming PC. On here we've got 2 USB Type-C 40 gigabit per second, loads of USB-A 10 gigabit ports, and Wi-Fi 7 included. And we are pairing this with the 9800 X3D CPU. But before we jump into testing this CPU in games, here is a game that I've been absolutely hooked on. Heroes of History. This game mixes city building with hero collecting, and you get to collect absolute legends. Leonidas, Cleopatra, Hercules, the roster is crazy. You build up your city, power up your heroes, and jump into real-time battles in both solo and multiplayer. Right now I'm pushing my town towards the Minoan era, researching upgrades, collecting heroes like William Tell and Leonidas, and farming resources to level them up. And the battles? Super addictive. You can't brute force your way through. You actually need a strong city and the right team. Naya of the Cave Clan has carried so many of my battles because her heals keep my whole team alive. Research is everything if you want to unlock new buildings, upgrades, and progress through the ages. I am so close to Minoan era. Just one more research and now we're there. And hey, let's see if I get lucky with a hero summon. Oh, it's a level 4. Heroes of History is available on Android, iOS, and PC. Drop a comment down below telling me which historical figure would you like to see in-game. And use promo code DESIGNSIFR to unlock and summon your first 5-star hero. So use my link in the description box or scan the QR code on screen. Have fun, and I'll see you on the battlefield. I've also noticed NVMe prices are starting to go up as well. This is a 2TB MP700. It's a Gen 5 SSD. I borrowed this from a previous system because we couldn't afford to buy this and the RAM. It's just crazy at the moment. I was browsing the internet the other night and I was trying to figure out how can I make these PC builds a little different, stand out a little bit. And so I found these DIY accessories. These are NVMe heat sinks, especially for Gen 5 NVMEs. We've got built-in fans. This one's RGB, this one's not. But the idea was to just try and make the PC look a little more unique, and you'll see some of the awesome stuff that we picked up later on in the video, and we'll see how these perform. The CPU water block is the EK Velocity 2. There's no specific reason why I chose this. It was just the one that I had available. I think it looks nice. RAM is so hard to find on the market, guys, and if you do find it, you're paying an arm and a leg. I did go with this 64GB kit from Corsair. Unfortunately, a lot was sold out, so I didn't have much choice. So we are stuck with 6,000 megahertz, but it is AMD Expo ready. Perhaps we could do a little bit of overclocking with it. We'll have to wait and see. Well, I'm trying out some new fans today. These are the Lian Li SL Infinity Wireless Edition. I've got some in reverse, some also with the normal blades. The SLs are some of my favorite looking fans on the market. So it's gonna be interesting to try out the wireless feature with these. Up the top of the case, I should be able to fit a 360 radiator. So we're gonna do a CPU loop with this S360. Again, no specific reason why I chose this one. I just had it available on the shelves. Unfortunately, this radiator doesn't fit properly. It's a bit thicker of a 360mm radiator, so we're going to install a thinner one and it should work perfectly. I thought beside the motherboard tray would be a good spot to put a 360 reservoir. I ended up going with the DDC because it's not a huge loop, and if I use the D5 it sticks out more, so I was worried that it would collide with the radiator up the top. So we'll see if this works when we go to install it. So because I've changed this layout around, I did end up putting fans at the back rather than putting this straight in. This 360 FLT no longer fits. It would have fit straight at the back without the fans, but now we are forced to use a 240 instead, which will go in like so. I was tossing up between a 1000 watt and this power supply. Ended up going with the 1200 watt because when I Googled power requirements for the 5090, I already know roughly what it draws, but then it said you're better off getting a minimum 1000 watt. And I was like, okay, let's get a bit of headroom there. Let's put a platinum rated power supply in there because these are our high-end parts and we don't want anything happening to them. And so that's why we chose the 1200 watt. I've had this 9060 XT sitting here for a while and I haven't used it yet. I know it's not the best pairing with the 9800 X3D, but I'm quite curious and I want to see how it performs in an all-AMD build like this. What do you guys think? Do any of you own a 9060 XT? Do you like its performance? Or do you think it was a bad purchase decision? So let's get it installed. This has to be the favorite product that I found. It's an upright GPU holder. It is fully magnetized on the bottom, so you can put it anywhere in your case as long as the Ryzen cable that comes with it can actually reach your motherboard. It does have ARGB built in, and it also has a swivel on it so you can move your graphics card and sit it at an angle that you're happy with. There's also a 90-degree HDMI adapter, a 90-degree DisplayPort adapter, and this is basically how your GPU will sit, just like that. That's pretty cool, very unique. Well, This is frustrating. I made a mistake. I miscalculated the height of the GPU standing up. I think I forgot to take into account the base as well. And so if I actually want this GPU to go in, I need to remove the fan to give it some space, which is fine. It can still work, but it sucks that I don't have 3 fans up the top anymore. But it does fit now. That looks pretty good actually. Some more little accessories that I purchased are some 24-pin adapters. This one's 80 degrees, this one's 90 degrees. It's gonna come in super handy in this case where I'm very tight for 24-pin space. This one also looks like it has an infinity mirror design on it. That's pretty cool. First up, we have Avatar Frontiers of Pandora 1440p high settings. GPU utilization sat at around 90% the whole time, while the CPU sat at around 10 to 20%, showing that there are no bottlenecks currently happening. So it's a pretty good pairing. GPU temperature was around 48 degrees Celsius, and considering it was at 90% utilization, it actually shows that it is quite a cool card. And we ended up achieving an average of 73 FPS. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, 1440p ultra settings. The GPU ended up using 7.03 gigabytes of its 8 gigabytes of VRAM. Really pushing it there. But we did achieve 103 FPS on average, while the GPU sat at 49 degrees Celsius. Black Myth Wukong 1440p cinematic settings. This game really pushed our VRAM, utilizing 7.7 gigabytes. It's a fairly smooth playing card though, only achieving a low 5th percentage of 55 FPS, while our average FPS overall was 63 and a GPU temperature of 46. And then we have a pretty crazy water-cooled PC build inside the Darkflash DY460 using some pretty cool DIY bits of hardware that we picked up. What do you guys think? Do you think an upright GPU holder has its place in the market, or a 180-degree RGB 24-pin connector? Let me know down in the comments. What do you guys think about this case? And if you enjoyed this build, then you're going to absolutely love this build right here, where we took an old, beaten up sleeper case and we put the best of the best hardware inside. Go and check it out.